diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Cool, that does fire me up. Good afternoon. Yeah, how are you?
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Patriots Across the Pond Family Saturday Chat with Stu and Elisa. How you doing, Stu?
Episode 5. Yeah, doesn't time fly when you're having fun? I'm very well. Had a bit of a late night. Obviously, you stayed in for about an hour last night, Friday night fuckery with Jason and Dina, but I was in there till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
So it was just fun. They had a guy come on and he from CBD Guru, and he was just telling a few stories, but he's one of these guys that he speaks softly and slowly and oh, did I tell you about this? And it's another story and another story. So we were sitting there and I just saw Jason absolutely crying with laughter. And I thought, what's he laughing at? I looked at the chat and they were just having such a laugh in the chat.
Really?
And I saw something in the chat. I thought he's definitely laughing at that, which was making me laugh and all that. It was hilarious, really. It was really nice to be in there. So, yeah, I love going in there. We'll try and get in there every couple of weeks, shall we?
Absolutely. No, it's fun. And you know what? Like, we just kind of go wherever we go, right? Because we were going down like that little rabbit hole with Higgins, but it probably has nothing to do with one another, but it led us on that, like a little bit of a search of, well, what happened with that guy, So anyway, it's just nice when you get a bunch of people together and you just kind of start talking about things and going down these different rabbit holes.
So, talking about getting a couple of people together, we've already got a couple of people in the back room. So, let's get them on.
Okay.
Timbo and Misty, a regular. How are you guys?
Great.
Doing great.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear. There's a lot going on in the world. A lot of people are waking up to these Epstein files, especially, but that is the first sort of bit of it. So, yeah, Timbo, a new face on that show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. This is basically only my second appearance on camera on a show. I joined Sean 2 weeks ago, Conspiracy Theory 17, made a little debut there. I still get a little nervous, and I'm kind of like more of an introverted type personality, and just sometimes a picture says 1,000 words. So I have this picture that my dad, rest in peace, gave me. I guess it's about 7 or 8 years. No, a little longer than that. Anyway, they had saved these boxes of, through my life when I was a kid. And this picture was from my local newspaper. And there was a group of kids who used to go for book readings at the library. And here's the lady reading a book to the kids.
Yeah.
And who's this guy?
That's you, is it?
Always the outsider, checking out what's going on around. Right?
Oh, brilliant.
They say, hey, there's a dude taking a picture over here.
Yeah, excellent.
That's kind of this, like I said, the picture. I'm the outside guy observing, checking things out, and, which kind of with this whole, the thing that I'll just briefly state that everybody wants the little wake up. thing. And to me, what peeled the scales back from my eyes was kind of a combination of course, COVID and George Floyd, because I thought some of that stuff was granted. 9/11 I was in the hamster wheel, go work, building houses, go work. That's weird how those buildings came down like that. Okay, work, gotta go, gotta. But then the COVID fiasco, and more so the George Floyd Black Lives Matter thing was very strange. I live way out on the east end of Long Island in the Hamptons, and there's a lot of highly educated / indoctrinated people. And I saw in the streets Colgate, Harvard, Dartmouth, and Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, this is, of course, Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. It was witchcraft.
Yeah.
It was chanting, repetitive witchcrafts. And I was like, this is strange. So at that time, Twitter was different in a way that it would allow you to navigate through Twitter without signing up, making an account. You could just click on somebody's Twitter and get their profile, get their chronological order of their tweets, also take you to, if you like this, you might like. And at that time, all kinds of Q influencers and researchers and rabbit holers, all kinds of fantastic documentaries were on there. So I was just in the rabbit hole. Totally. Just, whoa, my reality was crashing. I was crying in my driveway. I was like, the Mouthy Buddha, his BitChute channel with all this panda eyes on. I was just like, a lot like maybe your discussion with Renee this earlier this week. But so that's the basic, my awakening. And here I am. And it's taken me, at that time, I really wanted to try to wake everybody up. Like everybody says they want to do. Look. Okay, psycho. Yeah, let's, I made handouts and little brochure things that
wow,
very rewarding to me, because I realized if I was trying to throw this on people and they weren't ready for it, I'd get shut out.
yeah.
So I made this line thing. Please wake up. Something I did, and I would leave them. There used to be this thing in front of the large convenience store in town where there was free papers that people could take. There's a local paper that's free, and people would leave coupon books and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to make some of these and leave these here. So I go there every day for my coffee, 10 or 12 at a time. Sometimes the next morning there'd be 2 left. Sometimes it was so rewarding to me where there was none left and I could replenish them. Actually, through that year and a half or so, it turned out to be somewhere, I lost count, but like 1,000 were gone. Granted,
Wow.
blown away in the wind, but I figured, okay, if people have enough interest to take it, they're bound to look into some of the things that I've put on here. So I felt good in my own anonymous way that I was contributing. I call it, like a lot of the podcasts and everything, they were like at war with the tanks and machine guns. I was kind of like a little sniper, one at a time. Pink, pink, pink. So yeah, but I'll wrap myself up there. But thank you for having me on and helping me battle and go through this change of changing my character a little bit and fighting my introverted characteristics. But it also is comforting to be with people that you feel like you're on the same page with. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's our pleasure to have you on. Just got a very couple of quick questions for that. So before COVID, George Floyd, you sort of had no idea, or had you looked at things before? You talked about those buildings coming down, but just put it to one side.
Yes. Okay. I guess you could call it the system. Totally involved with the systems. Work, make the money, save your money. I was also a volunteer fireman, which I'm going to go back to. I had to quit with the COVID and the nonsense, but 23-year member of my local volunteer fire department. It's a
Wow.
brotherhood. I love my brothers, and I was trying to wake them up. So I got kicked. I got basically, okay, psycho, because the meetings we were having, barn doors open, trucks pulled out, chairs 6 feet apart, hand sanitized, wipe everything. I'm like, with these chemicals, all, and I'm like, this is insane. I took a leave of absence because a 6-month leave of absence. I'm like, everybody, come on. Everybody's gonna figure this out. This is so stupid. No. So then I basically went into a retirement in good standing, which means I can just rejoin, on good standing when I want to, which will be soon again. But yeah, Stu, before that, I was in the system. I was fortunate enough to have a house, did all of the improvements and myself. So from work, the gym, fire department, working on the house, that's what I see is critical in this system, is to take up your time, go ahead, hurry up, graduate school, get a student loan, work to pay that off, have your 2.6 children, your dog, your wife, get the system entices you to stay okay, that's really weird, but I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to take the kids to soccer practice.
Yeah.
That's really weird too, but okay, yeah, dinner. I got to go to the store. The system is not broken. It was designed this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not totally in the black, but yeah, pretty much. But 2020 vision, 2020, I don't know, but yeah, that was, and I'm thankful, extremely thankful for it, even though I've been kind of shunned a little bit. But I'm witnessing it happening all around me. My neighbor, my friends, the guys I've worked with, throwing these seeds through the years has been beneficial, and we're in an incredible time, and I'm very optimistic, as I'm sure we all are, for where we're going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. Sorry, I've got one more quick question.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. When you said you were on Twitter in the battlefield, watching everything that was going on January the 7th, after J6 debacle, we got shut down. They took down about 70,000 Twitter accounts. So were you there, and did you witness all these people you were watching just disappear?
Absolutely, yes. And then that's when the whole thing changed too. Where you couldn't go on anybody's thing. You could, well, yes, you still can, but they'll show you their feed, but not in chronological order. You'll be showing something 6 months ago, a year ago, but before, it was all of their posts in date order, and it was just like you were there. But I've been showing a lot of things about years ago. Oh, the internet is all just garbage. It's all the social media is, which is to some degree still true, but it's a tool. And however you use the tool, if people want to use the tool to take pictures of their dinner at the restaurant and do, look for followers and likes for their little dopamine rush, but it's also a tool for us to come together, find each other, to find information, to learn from each other. So I've been taught a lot of things, and a lot to remain open-minded as a child, to be able to accept and to be humble. Okay, I was wrong about that. Big deal. I've got no pride. I mean, I have pride, but no, willing to admit you're wrong is not hard for me. It's growth. And, but yeah, I witnessed all of it, Stu, all of the disappearance, the change of pattern, the whole thing. I only allowed myself one social media, platform, and that would be Telegram, because a lot of my research went to the legal, lawful kind of field with the Maritime Admiralty, all that stuff. So I found a lot of that was I let myself do Telegram, and that's all I want to do, have the time for, but it's led me to all of you and Rambo and Dave. And then when I saw Patriot Underground hook up with Dave, I said, oh my God, my whole little here is coming together. And then you guys, and I'm like, okay, this is like now I've before I wanted to meet open-minded people, but it's like now the people that I seem to resonate with are kind of, and then Ellen Truth Teller Tales, and I'm like, it's like my fam. I got to introduce myself now. I'm ready.
Yeah, brilliant. That's brilliant stuff. Elisa?
Oh yeah, well I was curious. Well, actually now I wrote down a few other things I wanted to ask you about, but what about your family? Like, we all have had experiences within our families where there are people that just think we're crazy. And obviously strangers are less likely to tell you off, right? They just walk away. But family has no problem telling you that they think you're an idiot. So what about your immediate family? And has it impacted like this awakening?
My mom.
Okay.
When I first was in the rabbit hole, like I said, I'm totally messed up. So I started, and I had also found Q, the plan to save the world, and things. So I started telling my mom all this stuff, and she's like, "Oh yeah, because my parents were hippies." And she's like, yeah, we used to think that too, that love and all that. But something happened. I guess it was seeds. My mom now, wide awake, everything. We can talk. She likes Martin Brodell. You know Martin? But she loves Martin, but and we know LT. We can talk about just about almost everything that we're going to talk about here. And I am a mama's boy. So if there was one person that I would want to be part of this with me, it happened. So the rest of my family, I'll just touch on the one that got hurt by all of this. It's my youngest baby sister. She's 21 years younger than me. My mom had her when she was 40, had me when she was 19. So there's almost a 2-generation or so gap between her and I. But she's a RN, she's a nurse, and she had just recently finished her schooling. So she was required to get the pokey poke, and she had an adverse event with the I'll call it what was happening to a lot of women with the flow being unregular and extremely heavy.
Yeah.
And at a random time, so she went to the doctor. Strangely enough, the doctor she went to said, yeah, no more shots for you. Wow, this was early, so that kind of bothered me about, okay, this doctor obviously saw some kind of connection with that and said no more. But then she didn't take that further about the shot itself and what's happening. And so that's the rest of my family. Another bad thing happened is my uncle had one of my cousins working for him in his business, and he actually fired my cousin because he wouldn't get the shot. But as life would work out, that worked out through years to now my cousin started his own business, is thriving. So it was hard for a little while, but that there is still ill feelings there, but that turned out to be a total blessing in disguise for him. And it's funny how things work out for the better sometimes. But the rest of my family, it's a big family, and I'm kind of a little bit of black sheep, but a lot of them were, I feel indoctrinated in, but I think a lot of them are slowly waking up as well. We don't see each other that much anymore, but I'm just thankful for if I could ask for one that I could talk to and relate to, it'd be my mom, and she's there.
Wow. The other thing, and we could come back to this because it's a whole other rabbit hole, but you said you did a lot of, you started doing a lot of research into maritime and that kind of thing. So I'd love for us to, want Misty to kind of bring us up to date a little bit. I want to go back to that because that's a really interesting, especially here in New York. I mean, not that it's not everywhere, but God, are we just so screwed with the way they have just used the law around maritime law to enslave us. But that's great. I'm glad about your mom, because we need some, some of us we don't have family, so we become each other's family. So I want to just share with you guys really fast. I got in a text last night from Renee, right, amidst his still breaking down. So now it's interesting, because I hope he talks about this on the next show, what you just said, Timbo, about how, like, we want to just tell everyone, right? We've all been there, right? We've all been there. And he's saying, like, he went to dinner with his mother and father, and he was telling them, and his father's head exploded when he started telling him about aliens and the tunnels. And then he went to dinner last night with his brother. He's like, he has no clue. And so, he's starting to feel that, what would I call it?
Frustration.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say he's at frustration yet. He's at that excitement where he wants to share his new toys, like, which we've all been to. So anyway, he sent me a text last night. He's like, you guys, because he went on our website, Stu, and he was reading our bios and our awakening journey. And he wrote, you guys, meaning the community, are the pioneers. We're like cavalry. Like, he sees, like, the next wave as which is an interesting way of putting it, right? Because, we all part of the same army, right? That's kind of like what it eventually happens. So anyway, that's so how you doing, Misty?
Oh, I'm doing great. I love hearing the news stories, and Renee's getting some resistance, with all his excitement, which is, we can really relate to that, because I think we've all
to the party,
that. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's resistance or it's shock, because he might have just, done a core dump on his family.
Sure.
So they might just they sounded more in shock. Now we'll see as the time. You got to remember, though, he's a little bit of the golden boy in his family, because he's been so successful and he has been so logical. So there's a chance that his family will actually take him seriously because of that way. Like, if he believes it, it's got to be true, because he doesn't believe anything, kind of thing. So but you don't know who his friends are. You know what I mean? Like, then he's dealing with normies. So we'll have to hear those stories, where they don't have the same respect that his family might. So
I mean, anyway. he's also at the stage where he's almost sort of going, how do they not know any of this stuff? How are these people so asleep that he's got his newfound awakening? I mean, he just wants to blurt stuff out, doesn't he?
Yeah, we've all been there, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It's like diarrhea. It's like, and then, did you know? And then, and like, you're going all over the place. And then it's 1871. Like, you have like the whole.
Yeah, exactly. So how you been, Misty? What have you been up to? What have you been watching?
I'm doing great. I'm still pretty much watching the typical people I watch, News Treason, Patriot Underground, and anything having to do with silver or XRP. And then, as far as everything's unrolling, the Guthrie thing, I just, a lot of that stuff I'm just not even listening to, because I find it more frustrating, when you can see right through something, that something's a psyop. Yeah. So I'm trying to just focus on, what's our next move, and pretty much basically whatever Trump is posting, and then following, the aftermath of all of that, what's coming out, and so forth. But for me right now, having people that I know in the movement and seeing more people come into the movement is what's keeping me holding on, simply because, like everybody else, I'm exhausted. This has been going on for many years, and of course, much longer than we all thought. But I still see the light at the end of the tunnel in my deep core. I know that it's going to work out. But I have to say that I am really loving when I see a normie see the light, because I have had some local people that see it. My family members, that's another story. We'll see what happens when I go to visit this summer. But just, well connected to it all. Think that we're, blessed, extremely blessed to be involved in this and to appreciate, everyone, all their time and efforts in this movement to inform all of us, and then to find our tribe. Because otherwise you talk about this stuff to the normies and they think you're crazy. And many people don't want to wake up. They don't want to know. And sadly, I think more people, even though they're awakening, there's still some that I just don't think that they're ever going to wake up, or they're going to have a shock event to wake up. We talked about that before, with it probably being something to having to do financial, simply because when people's money is tied up or all of a sudden isn't going to be there, that wakes them up real fast.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, the more they put it off, the more detrimental it's going to be for themselves.
Absolutely.
Basically, I'm in a group. I've said this a couple of times. All my old mates, we used to go out drinking and stuff, but they're all talking in there about football. So I just did enough, and I don't really say much. I put some couple of Epstein things in there with a couple of girls screaming, "Do you know why?" And that Yorkshire lass tweet. How the fuck are people still walking around with all this stuff going on? And I just basically got a bit Mickey take, bit of uninterest, because I posted my Rene video, we're putting Rene video in there. I said, you really need to watch this because this is where you guys are, sort of thing. And I just got told that the group was for sex, drugs and rock and roll chat and football. And so I thought, there you go, I'm not chatting in here then. That's it.
Yeah. It's funny because, well, it's not really funny, but like when you feel like you're so awake, sometimes you feel a little above it, like not above it in an ego way, but like I can handle anything above it.
Yes.
Like, you know what? I've heard everything. It's awful. It's terrible. It's disheartening, but I'm okay. Yesterday was the first time in a long time when we were on with Jason and we were looking at some of the, I guess that's, what's that channel, Stu, with the guy? He's British. It was we watched a bunch of the videos. One was about.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his
guy
name.
with the beard.
Yeah, and he had a few. Yeah, he had a few that Jason brought up. That one was with King Charles, and one was with Epstein and whatever. And there was one description. Now it's being read. We're not seeing anything. We're not. And he was reading the description of, I think it was the one about Tom Hanks.
It's called The People's Voice.
The People's Voice. And it was the one about Tom Hanks where they were talking about this absolutely, there's not even a word I could think of what they did to this young girl. And it was probably the first time in a long time that I literally, like, it was a physical reaction. I felt like I was going to vomit. And that's what I tried to explain to Renee. I said, listen, some of this stuff rolls off our tongue because we've had a chance to just metabolize it and know it. So it goes into the cerebral part of you. It leaves, because if it stays in the gut and the heart, you can't handle it, right? That's why these young children who are tortured dissociate. You'll die. I said, but there's things that are now coming out for even us, that are so reprehensible and hard to handle. So the fact that a lot of you guys in this second wave are going to get this core dump of absolutely horrific stuff, it makes more and more sense. We used to say it, I think, Stu, more as like a catchphrase, like, oh, when everybody hears this, they're going to have nervous breakdowns. Oh, this stuff is going to put people in the hospital. And we would just kind of say it. But there's so much truth to that.
For some people, it's like it gets free rent in their head, which you don't want. Kind of like with the Trump derangement syndrome, libtards. I always love to say, Trump's got free rent in your head, and they get mad because, I've driven through some protests locally here. But when Renee was talking and he was referencing that video where they looked to be Asian children that were all dressed up, that looked like hospital gear,
Yes.
That uniform they wear. And the one child was being drowned in front of the other kids. I saw that as well, and I'd never seen that one before, but they're putting a lot of new stuff out there. And when you see that, I think for a lot of normies, they just think, oh, they're trafficking girls or kids that are just, underage. They're almost 17 or whatever. And they don't realize the dark, deep torture, et cetera, that is really going on, because most people don't want to believe that that's true.
Yeah.
So it is good, as much as we don't want to see that, it is good that's getting out there, because they're going to need to see it to wake up, in my opinion, because I think the other stuff's not going to work. Although the financials may, but there has to be enough of that out there where people say, hey, we really need to protect children and save them. And we need to make sure that these people can't harm children again, because they will.
Yeah. I also think that the financial aspect of it will scare people, and it'll make them pay attention. But this other stuff with children is not about necessarily scaring them. It's about just completely restructuring their heart and their eyes. Like, it's a real wake up. The financial is going to scare the shit out of people, but once the money's back, you know what I mean? People resume, they go on with their lives, right? But this stuff with the children, there was another one that was going around Twitter yesterday, if anybody saw it, of a little girl who was actually a Syrian girl that was pulled off the street. Oh my God. Like, yeah. So I think, what's my point? My point is that even the most awakened of us, we've come to talk about this in a very cerebral way, right? But then when you actually start to see more of this, it has the same effect, because we're all human. So it may not shock us, but it's going to really be painful and awful and I don't know what would be a little step less than shock. Like, I'm not shocked when I see that, but I'm so riveted with pain. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, to actually imagine in those moments.
Which still breaks your heart, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how much.
What's the terror? The terror. I can't. And if you've had kids or nieces, or you've been around children, you know how innocent they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that bothered me the most, was seeing these kids on their way to school with these masks on.
Oh God, you're not kidding, Timbo.
I don't have children of my own, but I've got a lot of 4 much younger brothers and sisters. But to see this, it enraged. It was torture.
Yeah, it
was torture. And I just want to double back on something that you had said about your cousin and these people, and I experienced it myself, where I came across I guess it would be the term of cognitive dissonance. And it's a mental conflict that occurs when beliefs are contradicted by new information. This conflict activates areas of the brain involved in personal identity and emotional response to threats. The brain's alarms go off when a person feels threatened on a deeply personal and emotional level, causing them to shut down and disregard any rational evidence that contradicts what they previously regarded as truth. And I came across that during all this rabbit hole years, and said, that's exactly what I felt in the beginning. Like, no. No.
Yeah.
But then, yes. And another thing that kind of caught me off guard, I'll admit a little bit, is like with Rambo and Mickey, I think, what was her name again? Nikki, who had the millions of followers that just happened last week.
Nicki Minaj?
Yes.
Yeah.
That to me was kind of left fieldish, bringing in the child sacrifice when we election fraud, this, that, and then that's not quite 0 to adrenochrome, but that's 0 to quite a bit more. That kind of, to me, I'm thankful for it, because it's exponentialized the people's scales coming off eyes, but it was a little bit left fieldish to me in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj activated.
Yes, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you don't know if she's been part of this on the white hat sides, and she's just been activated now. You don't know if they've turned her. You don't know if she's seen the light, but it all leads to the same end.
Yes.
Go. You know, because that's what we need. We need a lot of these left influencers, these influencers. I hate that word, and the lefty mainstream media have got to be the ones that are going to red pill these people. They're fans, you know, they're devotees.
Yeah, exactly. Has anybody followed, because I really haven't followed, and I've seen bits and pieces, because it's sort of like, who cares? You know, we kind of know a lot of this was dealt with. But has anybody been following the Don Lemon story at all and know what's going on? Because
what when he went into that church, you mean?
well, no, I mean he was
My mate Haley's here.
oh, okay. Just the idea, because he was arrested. Hi. I was just curious where that was kind of ending up in mainstream, you know, news.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. Well, welcome, Haley, one of my besties. How are you?
Sorry to cut you dead. Haley here. Stop what you're doing. I wanted to just slide in unnoticed.
No, not here. Not here.
Everyone meet Haley. Tim's on for his first time today. Misty's been on a few times. This is one of my best mates, Haley. She's an absolute fucking warrior in this. In the early days when I was doing Miss Jews News, there was three girls that came on most of the time. That was Haley, Jenny, and Nick. Sadly, we've lost Nick in this war. But yeah, Haley is a warrior in this. So yeah, how are you doing? You're going to tell us a little bit about your journey now.
I'm all right, Stewie. Thank you. Nice to meet you, everybody. Elisa, lovely to speak to you face to face. You're my absolute hero. I'm learning how to say "fuck off."
Yeah, quite.
The New York accent. I know.
I haven't got it. I haven't got it, but I love it.
So whenever we're on and we're about to go live, you know, Stu and I will do like our last minute things, right? She's like always like, oh, I'm gonna just take a quick run to the toilet, right? So my relatives, a lot of them from the Bronx, so they always would say turlet. Like they turn the O-I into like an E-R. Do you know that, Timbo? I don't know if you have any relatives like that, right? And so we always joke in my house, like I got to go to the turlet, or where's the turlet, baby? And now I got Stu saying turlet.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've wanted to come on for weeks and weeks now. Today's the first Saturday that I've actually had the opportunity to take a few minutes out and just come and say hi to everybody. And just listening to Timbo and Misty there. I mean, it's fantastic. Every time I listen to your shows, Stu and Elisa, you have people on that you just resonate with. Everything you guys say just resonate, and it doesn't matter where we are in the world, we're all in this same battle. It is a battle, and I feel like, I don't know, like us guys who've been, like you were saying, Elisa, like the first wave of us, we've been at it for so long, and it's been so arduous, and now there's that, oh, actually, here we go, reinforcements are on their way. Okay, so we've got to go out there and see a bit more of the nasties, but we've got these reinforcements coming now. There's literally nothing can stop what is coming now. You can feel it now, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so go on, start from the beginning. Let's have a little bit about your journey, you know, when you woke up and what you've been through and stuff.
Oh God, I've been awake for years, and it's a lonely journey, isn't it? It's a lonely journey, and you know, being picked on, made fun of, this, that, and the other, you know, tinfoil hatter and all that lot. But you just crack on, don't you? Just crack on. And then I suppose the catalyst of it all. I mean, I was going on about like the chemtrails and the 9/11, you know, all the classic ones that when you bring it up to people, if they can't see what you can see, there's no hope. There's no point cracking on with that conversation whatsoever. But 2020 happened. And it was during lockdown, the best summer we'd had for years, the best springtime, because there was no buggers in the sky. And me and my husband, we just got married. We'd run off to Gretna Green to get married on the weekend that lockdown happened. So Scotland shut down before England shut down. So we were driving back from Scotland to England, and it was like something out of 28 days later. There were no cars about, there were no people about. It was like the apocalypse. And I mean, I know you guys over in America think nothing of thousands of miles of driving to get from one state to another here, but a few 100 miles from from the southern England to southern Scotland would usually take about what you saying, Stu? About 6-7 hours drive.
Yeah,
we did the journey back in 4 hours because there was no stopping, and it was just like, phew! We didn't need roads, 120 mile an hour the whole way home, and it was like, wow, that was weird. So then we enjoyed the lockdown, because I was thinking, this is crazy shit. This isn't going to last, is it? Let's just enjoy our honeymoon in the sunshine. Let's enjoy the fact we don't have to mix with weirdos for a while, because the weirdos are going to be the only one that are affected by this. And then after a week or so, and you think, hang on a minute, it is getting deeper. Why aren't people seeing what's going on here? And then it's getting further and further into it and further. And the clincher for me, when I thought, hang on a minute, was when Trump did his "let's drink bleach" presser. And I hadn't been a full-on Trumpy-pumpy fan up until that time. I wasn't that deep into the politics of things. I was into the spiritual side of things, not the politics. So when the COVID pandemic thing was taking hold, and I was thinking, oh, politics are playing a massive part here, massive part. And then Trumpy did his presser, and I listened intently to what he said, and I was hooked on the words. I was thinking, yeah, you know, if it's something serious, we need to get it sorted. This is the man to do it. And then when I saw what got put out on BBC and ITV, and Sly News and all the lot about let's drink bleach, and I was like, what? That is not what he said. So then I've gone onto the socials, and it's rife with and I'm like, oh my goodness. So from there on in, I probably spent the next 2 years arguing with retards on a daily basis, hour after hour, argument after argument. And I was just dumbfounded that people could not see what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was a real case of, oh, hang on here, you know. So here we go, fast forward to where we are now. And I'm the same as you guys, lost a lot of people. My mum being the main one. If I could turn the clock back and I could fight a little bit harder to save anybody, it would be her. But since mum left this immortal plane, I thought, well, if I can't save my mum, who can I save? What's the point in arguing day in, day out with people who blatantly don't want to see it? They don't want to see. Then there's no point. So I withdrew from socials. I took my kid out of school. I did everything I needed to do to protect my little world. I withdrew and I watched everything. I'm still fully in there watching. But what I do now is I protect my world, and I do as much research as I can do about what's going on out there and about natural remedies. And I've had a whale of a year, medically wise. It's coming up 10 days time to the anniversary of the starting of my wonderfully medical year, where I've been woken up even more to the perils of the pharmaceutical industry. I've had more proof than I'll ever need that they're all out to kill us, and make a profit in the process. So yeah, here I am, still here, still fighting, but I'm fighting from my little corner, not on those public platforms anymore, because I believe my energy was being sapped out there on those public forums, and I needed my energy here to concentrate on my world, keeping my world safe, getting my girl through the rest of her educational years, and my eldest girl through the perils of, you know, setting up your own business where you're not entrapped into the government, and, you know, just that. Yeah. So that's me. Nice to meet you guys.
I've got,
Wow.
I've got a couple of questions for you. I don't know if you want to talk about them or not.
Can I just make a comment, Stoops?
Yeah, of
It's not a
course.
question. Like, I'm so impressed that you had the guts and the, to pull your daughter out of school. I mean, I had teenagers at the time in high school, and it was really, really hard because there's a lot of there's pushback. That's their life. They're with their friends.
Exactly.
and I didn't do that, though when they had to wear masks and all that shit. My daughter went to school, and she's like, "Mom, we're like, there's like things in front of us." And I said, you're gonna stay home. So she stayed home. And when she went back the next year, this one kid, this little bastard, says to her, "You're the weird girl who didn't show up to school," or whatever she called. But in any case, the point is that I'm just so impressed for that you were doing that. Don't forget, like, you're the parent, but you're also want to not screw up your kid in another way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm pulling
this was the thing. This was the awful thing. I mean, I'm lucky enough that my eldest girl, she was in her mid-20s in 2020, but my youngest, she was in the last year of primary school.
What is
grade 6, year 6.
Year
grade
6.
6.
Okay, so 6th
right,
grade.
so she was in the year scare. Yeah, she was 10 years old, going on to 11, then just about to go up to secondary school. And that's what she did, that transition of going from the primary school to the secondary school after having, you know yourselves, everything was put on hold. And I would not, no way, let her be masked. I wouldn't even let her use the antibacterial gel. I kicked off at every single point. I pushed back at every single point. And she was made to be the weird kid, and I was the awkward mum, just wind my neck in. My friends saying to me, "It's just a mask." It's not just a mask.
So you don't care
can't
if
be my friend anymore if you're saying it's just a mask.
Exactly.
And you want to put a mask on your child. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not just a mask. So then when she went up into secondary school, and it was awful because she'd had none of the. Usually when kids make the transition from the primary to the secondary, they have taster days and they have introductory days, and they have days where they go and spend time in that environment and they meet their peer group and what have you, and they have time to settle in before it actually starts. Didn't work that way here, did it? So she started her secondary school in year 7, and it was the girls' grammar school. So it was single sex girls' grammar. So keep that in mind in just a minute. So yeah, she started there, and it was all the testing, masking, and so I started straight off with, no, there'll be no testing, don't consent, there'll be no masking, don't consent, don't you dare go near my kid with any kind of thing up her nose or any kind of jab in her arm. Nope, made it clear from the off who we were and who you're dealing with. So straight away that put my daughter out there to be like, oh well, what's up with you? And then as we go along through year 7, and I begin to work out just how deeply entrenched the trans agenda is within the educational / indoctrination system. And the next 2 years were a battle with my heart, with my head, with my girl, with all my sensibility. I could blatantly see, clearly see what was happening. My daughter, bless her heart, in the midst of it all, where she's got all these girls, because they are girls, because she's at a girls' grammar school, all of a sudden wanting to be known by names such as Astro and Cam and, what was the other one? Oh, just these crazy names. And I was trying to explain to her what was going on, and she was like, I'm homophobic. She's like, Mum, God, you're so homophobic. I said, no, I'm not homophobic, Tawny. Well, you need to get that out of your head, because if you want to be gay, you want to be bisexual, be gay, be bisexual. Don't be a fucking weirdo. Do you know what I mean? There's no in between. You're a man, you're a woman, you're gay, you're bisexual, you're straight. End of. That's it. That's the only leeway we get here. Any of that stuff, however many other mental illnesses are what they are. They're not pronouns, they're not genders, they are flat out mental illnesses. And it has taken me, now she turns 16 in December, for her to actually breathe a sigh of relief, because she has got me for a mum and we are out the other side, and she can see now clearly with clear eyes just what could have happened, you know, if I hadn't have been me, you know. So when it came to, I mean, it was the bullying at school was disgusting. Absolutely
Girls are horrible.
disgusting.
Girls are horrible.
Bitches, absolute nasty bitches. And it didn't stop with the pupils, it was the teachers as well. And because I was the mum who wanted to push back on everything, they found a way to push that down to my daughter, you know, so she was the one who suffered for it and stuff. So I wasn't having that. It was systemic bullying. And so much proof, so many visits into the school, so many meetings. And the only reason that I hadn't pulled her out of school previously, the only reason that I had allowed her to go into secondary school was because of her dad, who we've been separated since she was 4 years old. But he's a brilliant dad and he features prominently in her life, and we've always kept a good relationship for the sake of our girl. So his opinion mattered greatly to me. And he's in the education system. He is a further education college lecturer. So it was a battle, an absolute battle. And it wasn't until midway through year 9 where I declared enough is enough now. Enough is enough. If you don't allow our daughter to leave the education system, we're not going to have a daughter to be in school with. End of. That was it. You know, her mental state was that fragile. It was now or never. If we keep her in here, it is going to break her. It will break her in one way or another.
Yeah. So
that's when I pulled her out, and I spent months home educating her, rebuilding her confidence, just getting her out of that system, just you know, unschooling her and just giving her a bit of home time so she could just defrag, get to know who she is, you know. And it's awful age, 13, 14, 15. I wouldn't go back to do those years again if you paid me, you know. To be a girl and be an adolescent girl, horrible time of your life. Yeah. And that is without all the nasty, nefarious influences that they're battling day in, day out, you know. So then when she felt confident enough to go back in and get some education, she is now in year 11, and she is just about to complete her year 11, but she's been doing it instead of a secondary school setting. She's been at what they call junior college. So she's been at a college campus, and it is a specially run secondary school within the college campus for the year 10 and 11s who haven't been able to fit in to mainstream school for whatever reason. And it's a lot smaller, the class size. She only focuses on her English and maths GCSEs, which are obviously the most important ones. Everything else is just noise unless you decide that's what you want a career in. She's so artistic. So last year, year 10, she came out with a merit in her art and design level 2 diploma. And this year she's going to come out with whatever grade she comes out with. We're going to be proud of her in creative media studies.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she's going to go on to college to do her art and what have you. So, yeah, the schooling system, the education system, scary. And I am so very glad that I have no more children to have to bring up through this system. And I'm saying to both my girls, do not give me grandchildren, because I don't want another generation to have to worry about.
I think it's going to be very different because they're dismantling. So I think we have hope. And I'm sorry, guys. I know like you guys don't have hands on with kids, but you know, Haley and I are I would love to have a whole discussion at some point about that, because I was watching, you guys may want to check this out on YouTube. It's Jim Brewer. He's a comedian. And the show is called Someone Had to Say It. You know, it's a comedy show, but he's very political and he's very awake. And there's just one aspect of it where he describes his beautiful daughter. and she's smart and she's involved with friends and they're close, and he describes this, and then he has to bring her to college and he's so sad and his heart is breaking, and then the comedy is like the wife saying, trust me, it's good. We finally get to live a little bit. And he says 6 weeks. 6 weeks. She comes home. 6 weeks. He keeps saying this. And he comes, and all of a sudden it's racist, you're racist, you're sexist, racist, and he's just going across the stage, sexist, racist, LGBTQ, and then he jokes, he's like, all I said was good morning, but he says like, this is 6 weeks. This is what they do. This is what happens.
They hit them hard. Yeah, they do. Currently, I mean, this just goes to show. So Tawny's in year 11. When she moved up into year 11, obviously back in September, the new year 10s came in. So there is a student in this new year 10 intake, male student, likes to be known as Magnolia, has a TikTok account where, 15 years old, hands and knees in schoolgirl's outfit with little ears and a fluffy tail, sitting there all provocatively waggling its bum. There's a name for this, isn't there, where men like to dress up as underage schoolgirls. It's something I can't remember what it is, something affiliate. And this child has obviously had this programmed into it, because there is no way in the world a 15-year-old, male or female, would become this naturally. There's no way is that a natural progression. That is sick programming. And I said to my girl,
panic,
do their parents know about it? And she's like, well, yeah, I think so, because at school they have to be known as Magnolia. They have to be acknowledged in this persona. And I said, right, you go back in next time. I said, right, you refuse, point blank refuse to be part of that acknowledgement. Well, I can't because I'll get into trouble. I said, excellent. I said, so when you get into trouble and you get me in there, and I will tell them, right, if you want to assist and abet in this mental health issue that this child quite clearly has, and you want to allow them to have control over what you say, think and feel, then you can acknowledge it as a girl if you like, but there is no way you're expecting my daughter to enter in to that mental illness. There is no way my daughter is going to fight against what she sees with her own fucking eyes. It is a fucking boy. End of. Yeah. And she's like, oh, all right, mum, no, I'll do that. I'm like, please get me in there. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're allowing this stuff.
It's so hard, really. It's so hard to over the last 8 years to have been a parent. It really has, because you're always in that position of standing up and being yourself, and then battling the kid because they're dealing with just in their own development. They want to fit in. They like, it's so hard. And let me tell you, my kids hated me because I was always having a fight with someone over the masks. That was the big thing for them.
Yeah.
Put the mask on. I was like, I'm not putting the mask on. And like, we would just get into these fights. The same thing with the vaccine. I told my daughter, can you imagine this little pisher that I raised, a single mom for all these years. And we go to look at colleges, right? And I said, listen, I don't know what the deal's going to be with this whole, complying with the vaccine. I said, but don't worry, I got you covered, right? And so you know what I was going to do, right? So she says to me in a Starbucks, okay, we won't even get into Starbucks, but we're sitting in a Starbucks up in Rhode Island. And she goes, if you do that, I'll report you. Well, okay, now I don't know if you guys know me, right? I'm Sicilian. I literally was thinking, I am going to bash this kid. They're going to take me away in cuffs. I said, excuse me? What did you just say? No, if you're gonna, and she gets all like uppity. I said, listen, I was like shaking. I said, listen to me. I said, you little ungrateful fucking bitch. I said, we're going to go and we're going to look at this college. And then we're going to get in the car and we're going to go home. I said, and don't even say a word to me, because I will fucking kill you. So I drove home record time from Rhode Island. You know the roads here, Timbo. I was like I just drove home. But part of me understood, if that sounds crazy, part of me understood where her head was, what was being twisted in it, what she was listening to, all that. The other side was like, because I said, I took care of you all these years. I've kept you safe. You know, and I'm thinking it's there. Sometimes there's nothing to say. You just have to literally go into like an animal mode and scare the shit out of them, because you can't get through. No, it's the truth. I told them when they all became teenagers, I said, listen, you're teenagers now, and it's so wonderful. You're going to have all these new experiences, and your job is to try new things. And, you know, and I wish you so much luck with that. I said, but if you ever do anything to hurt yourself or illegal, I will fucking kill you. So just think twice about it. You know, good luck.
Yeah.
I love it. And that is tough mama love.
Yeah,
That's the way it should be.
Digressed. But very important stuff. So, Stu, I think you had some questions.
Yeah, well, I did have 2 questions, but I've now got 3. Now, whatever you're comfortable with talking about, right? Because I think these would be beneficial for your journey from what you've got to say. 1, I've told the story a couple of times of your dad and his arm, but you can tell it better than me. Yeah. 2, would you want to talk just about how your medical journey has been and what you've discovered in the hospitals over this year? And 3, do you want to talk about bills, right? And what you've done to buck the system? Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that sort of pay some bills and don't pay others and these sorts of things. But you've been very brave in all this. And if you want to go down that route, the floor is yours. Whatever you're comfortable with saying, it'd be amazing.
Okay, well, I'll start with that one. I'll start with what you finished with, the bills kind of thing. The bills, household bills, tax, anything, right? I refuse, absolutely, point blank refuse to be dictated to and told that I will live my life in this way by a bunch of corrupt, satanic, child-eating fucking paedophiles. If they think we're going to pay our fucking hard-earned into any fucking pot that they've got fucking going on all the time, they're running our fucking world. Yeah, they can fuck off, mate. They're not having a penny of ours. Not a penny. We don't pay a penny. The only thing we pay is rent to our landlord, because our landlord is a lovely man. So that's the only thing we pay. We don't pay council tax. In fact, I went so far as refunding the council tax. I applied for a refund for the council tax because it is an unlawful charge through the direct debit guarantee, and I was refunded £10,000. That just goes to prove that it's an unlawful charge, because they gave me my fucking money back. I don't pay gas and electric. At the last property we were in, I swapped out the meters. I put our own electric and gas meter in. And for the last 5 years of us living in that property, we had free energy. The property that we've moved into, we moved at the end of October, beginning of November, just gone. And we've not paid a penny in household bills since we moved in here. And we won't pay a penny in household bills all the time we live here, because we're not liable. We're not liable. I don't identify as the occupier, the resident, the bill payer, the taxpayer, the liable current resident, whatever name that they want to address that bit of paper to. That isn't me. That's not me. I am not my name. I am not that name. I am me. I am this living, human, sentient woman. And I will not give life to the words on paper that come through our letterbox. Well, actually, they don't come through a letterbox because we don't have a letterbox anymore. They get left in the porch up the top. So we don't open mail. They only have life if me as a human being give those words life. If I open the letter and go, oh, you're taking me to court, are you? What, because I owe you £17,000? Right, well, actually, I'm not going to accept your invitation to court. Fuck off. Nobody comes to get me. Nobody's taken me to court yet. We've had the odd clamp on our vehicles outside because we don't pay road tax. DVLA, when you do your investigations, it's not actually DVLA, Department of Vehicles Licensing Agency here in the UK. It's not actually them. It's a debt collection company called Marstons that go around and put all these car bracelets, me and my fella call them. Oh, we got another car bracelet, babe. So he just gets out his angle grinder. We're getting quite a collection of them in the old garage now. So yeah, so there's that. There's the bills. We don't pay the bills. Water, we don't pay the water either, because why the fuck should I pay to be poisoned? They poison that water. I don't drink the tap water. You know, why should I pay for it? I have to distill that water, and I have to remineralise that water before I can drink it, before it's safe for my family to drink. I'm not going to pay for that shit, am I? Anyway, so that's the bills. That's the bills aspect of it. All the time, you don't engage with the machine, because ultimately that's what it is. It's not any human being. It's not any single person in any office anywhere that's going, ooh, Hayley White, she hasn't paid her water bill for the past 17 years. We better catch up with her. It's a computer, and it's a computer generating automatic responses, automatic. And that computer is waiting for a human being to go, oh, okay, I'm liable for that. And I'll never do that. So they can't get me. You know, it's two different worlds. Things like corporations, they are what they say. Corporation, dead speak. How can a corporation have any kind of authority over a living being? It can't, can it? A bit of paper can have no authority over a living being. And as a living being, nothing can have authority over me unless I so wish, unless I give it that authority. And it's kind of like the energy you give out. Once you stop with all that shit, I mean, we don't really get parking tickets anymore, even though we practically live on double yellow lines. It's like we don't enter into that world. It's that saying, isn't it? Energy flows where attention goes. So if you don't give that your attention, you give it no energy, then it doesn't exist. It ceases to exist.
Wow,
So
that is so powerful what you just said. I feel that, right? That's so powerful. And it's so true. Like Timbo, I don't know last time you were in the city, I'm telling you, I get every week 1 or 2 over the speed limit, 75. Then they charge you like $50. Then if you don't pay it in a month, they send you another one for a $25, 50%. Who's getting 50%? 50% on top of that for not paying it. So I used to ignore them, and I noticed when you ignore them, they send them to a collection agency, right? So you got to figure as a business person, if something goes to a collection agency, what is that saying? That's saying we've written this off as bad debt that we're never going to get. But let's see if we can get a few bucks. Let's see if they can negotiate something, right? Because the collection agency wants to take their vig of what they're going to do. So, however, I just tried something new. I don't know how this is going to work. For shits and giggles, I got another one of these fucking things, and I wrote on it, please show me the contract that I signed. So let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because people get afraid, and they have you're in violation, and it's in red, and we're going to put, what's that?
That's it. It's the fear. It is the fear. That's what it is.
It's going to go, they'll be, what do they call that? Like where they could start taking your license away. I forget how they phrase it, you know, but I'm just like, I'm so sick of this. I get bills.
When they disqualify you.
Oh my God. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to pay my mortgage, right? We don't even get into that. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. Like there's certain things you have to pay. I got to pay for food. I have all these expenses. I get more bills from these son of a bitches than I get from anything that has to do with my living.
Exactly that. And it's all by design. It's the model of engineering, because it keeps you just under. You're never actually getting enough foothold to get your head above the parapet to be worth anything. It's keeping you under all the time. You're not powerful enough to stop it. Well, fuck that, mate. Fuck that. You don't want to be part of that slave system.
Yes, I'm sorry to be, but that came right to my mind. Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
Little this. Oh, you need to get this DOT thing to have your trailer on the road, and you got to get this, and you got to get this, and you got to just slice, and bleed out.
Exactly. You're so much red fucking tape. You're so fucking tied up in red tape. You can't move.
It's insane.
Yeah. Fuck that. Absolutely fuck that.
Right.
So what was next on the list, Stewie?
Your hospital journey and what you found with the hospital. Because look, in COVID, we were all standing up. None of us would put a mask on. None of us would do any of this shit. We were bowling about, you know, armor of God on, whatever it was. And I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. But that's what I was going to say. We've had friends that got taken into hospital and they died in hospitals. We heard about ventilation and all this sorts of stuff. So we were on it, you know, and we lost people we loved to this system. And even some of the people that went in were awake, but they were so badly ill they wouldn't, you know, do certain things. You know, we all had ivermectin in our cupboards and stuff like that. So we've been through it all. But then you had an injury, didn't you, about a year ago? And you know, you've had to sort of be involved. You had no choice but to get into this system.
Exactly. I was so vulnerable, vulnerable. So through that, it was an emergency.
You did a bit of investigative journalism as a truth on the inside, didn't you? Basically.
Yeah. I suppose you could call it that, but it was really just a case of fucking trying to get through the days, and it just. So it was a case of vulnerability. We don't go to the doctors if we can help it. We don't go to hospitals if we can help it. But in this case, it was an emergency. I lost my eye. That eye is not there. So it was a freak accident. On the 24th of February last year, I suffered an impact to the face. And my medial wall and orbital floor dropped out. My eyeball exploded, and I had to be rushed into hospital. And it was quite horrendous. So they sewed my eye up. They tucked it into itself and stuffed it back in, sewed it up. But because I'd lost my sight and there was no viable sight to save, they decided, in their wisdom, that to mend this bone here wasn't worth it. It's pointless. It's pointless doing that operation because you haven't got sight to save. And obviously at the time I was morphined out of my head, and I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever you think is best, that's fine, okay. So over the course of the next, let's say, through round to August last year. So this happened 24th of February 2025. Is that right? Is that right, Stewie? Yeah, because now we're 2026. Yeah. So through to August last year, the journey that I went on with hospitals, the doctors, every single department linked to, it was just horrendous. From one fuck up to another, from one can't be asked to help you to somebody completely fucking lying to me, just filling me with medication after medication after medication. And obviously because I was in such a vulnerable state and it was so painful, and it was just like, okay, you just rely on these professional and their opinions and their advice, and you know the road that they say you've got to go down. So come April, I started getting severe pains in my side, my right hand side, and I had no choice but to be rushed into hospital by ambulance. It was that horrendous. It was literally, I was screaming the house down. And I'm no pussy whatsoever. I've got such a high pain threshold. But this, I was like, I think I'm dying. I need to go to hospital. So they diagnosed me as having gallstones. And they're saying, oh yeah, gallstones, they're so painful. We need to give you a scan. They couldn't give me a scan straight away because it was too busy, and I spent 13 hours sitting in this horrendous waiting room with all these different drugs being given to me, and the pain subsided. I was like, right, do you know what? We just need to go home. I can't stay here. Being here is making me worse, and if they can't sort me out, I need to go home, which is what we did. Came home. Within 12 hours, another ambulance back up there because it kicked back in with immense pain. So this time they got me a scan, and they said, oh, it's gallstones. Had the scan, no sign of gallstones. I was like, right, so what is it then? Oh, well, you've had gallstones, but you've passed the gallstones, and now you've got colitis and pancreatitis through passing the gallstones. We're going to need to remove your gallbladder. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, yeah, it's diseased now. So it's diseased and you don't need your gallbladder. So we're just going to take it out. I said, no, hang on. You have seen no evidence of gallstones. Well, yeah, that's because you've passed them. I'm like, but how do you know? If you didn't see that they were there in the first place, how do you know they've been passed? And you're telling me that I don't need my gallbladder. Well, if I didn't need it, it wouldn't be there. My body knows that it needs its gallbladder. Thank you very much. And I really don't want it removed. Oh, no. It's just one of those. This is what they said. One of the useless organs that a body has. I'm like, these are medical professionals talking to me. I'm just right. Okay. So then I went into research mode. I researched everything I could about the gallbladder, its effects, what would happen if I had it taken out, this, that, and the other. And I was just like, I don't want to go. I was so scared. I had a hole in my face that was getting bigger and bigger. My eye was shrinking. It's called phthisis bulbi, and it means end stage eye or shrinking eye. So basically the eyeball was just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And I was being fobbed off by the ophthalmologist and by the maxillofacial people. And then this happened. So while I was in hospital, in A&E, waiting to be seen for this, some of the things that I witnessed going on in that waiting room over what ended up really, it was a broken period of 3 days that me and my husband had spent there on and off. And the things we witnessed, just fucking horrendous, absolutely fucking horrendous. If you are ill, going to hospital is not going to make you better. They don't want you better, and everything they do is to make you worse. They want you going out in a fucking body bag. End of. That's it. So when I did the research, I thought, right, I kept saying to them every time that there was a doctor or a consultant that was pricking me with this and poking me with this, blood test for this, I kept saying to them, what about all the medication I'm on? What about the medication I'm on? I'm on painkillers for this. I'm on painkillers for that. I'm on anti-inflammatories for that. I'm on antacids for this. I'm on this for that and this for that. That to counteract that, this to counteract that. And in my head, I knew, being the spiritual mum I am, being the naturalist that I am, being the witchy poo that I am, I knew really that all these pharmaceuticals really, they can't be making me better because I feel so fucking shit. From February till the end of April, I still feel fucking shit. There's been no healing going on, and this is sinking into my face. And so I started researching. Every single, not just one or two, but every single medication that I had been prescribed by my doctor, the consultant, whoever in the hospitals, this, that, and the other, who had access to my medical notes and knew what medication I was already taking, every single one of the medications was not meant to be given with the other medication. It was contraindicated. And it also said that prolonged use affects the liver, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the pancreas, la, 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 la. So every single symptom that I had been experiencing was due to the pharmaceuticals that I've been taking and nothing more. So I was like, right, fuck that. I'm stopping it now. The only thing that I didn't stop immediately was the morphine, that in the form of oxycodone and OxyContin, dirty drug.
Oh yeah.
So they say you've got to wean yourself off of that, and I thought, how long do you need to wean yourself off? See, also they were saying that prolonged use of these drugs was detrimental to health. They consider prolonged use to be 2 to 4 weeks. I'd been taking these drugs on a 6-hour daily cycle for 3 months. Madness. That's what was making me ill. So the day I stopped taking those tablets was the day I started getting better. Literally 2 days later, I had the music on, I was dancing around. It was my husband's birthday. We went away for the weekend, literally stopping the drugs. And I took RSO instead, Rick Simpson oil, pure cannabis oil. And that was my painkiller for the next few months until I thought, with the NHS, I'm actually not getting anywhere. The appointments are so far in between, and every time I have an appointment, they're just telling me the same stuff, and I'm losing confidence in them. And I was recording all of the appointments. So my husband said to me, "Do you know what, baby?" He says, "Fuck the NHS." He said, "Let's just have one private consultation and see what opinion we get. If they give us the same opinion as we're getting from the NHS, then fine. If they give us a different opinion, then, you know, we'll do that. So we did that. We paid £200 for probably about 4.5 minutes of this consultant's time. But in that time, that consultant basically told me that everything the NHS had done from that first admittance of me going in with my eye was wrong. Everything they did was wrong. They should have offed me straight away up to London to the Moorfields Specialist Eye Hospital. I should have been treated by a specialist in a specialist place, and I wasn't. They should have put me in to mend the bone because my face had just fallen in, it collapsed in, and everything that was in there was falling into my sinuses, and it's just awful. So obviously I was in pieces. I was just like, what a waste of time. All these months of me being ill and fighting to be healthy, it's been a waste of time because these bastards who are supposed to have my health and my best interests at heart just been fobbing me off. So what this consultant did, he said, I'm going to refer you to a consultant in Moorfields Eye Hospital, which is where I should have gone in the first place. And had they done that, then the past year would have been way easier to deal with. So 15th of November, just gone. It's cost us £15,500, but I had my eye removed. I had my cheekbone and medial wall rebuilt with titanium and Medpor plastic. I had an implant put in place of my eye, and I've now got this prosthetic. Which so that's me, that's my story there. And I'm now waiting. The only part of the NHS journey so far that has been any good for me is from now onwards the artificial eye service on the NHS, second to none. Fantastic service, can't fault them. But the only problem there is they're being phased out, funding out, because AI and the 3D printers are going to take over the role of the ocularists. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's that journey. What was the other one?
Just tell the story quickly about your dad.
Oh yeah.
And then we
right. So my stepdad, bless him. So we lost mum. Unfortunately, we lost mum on the 24th of June, 2023. Mum at the time and my stepdad were living up the country in it's kind of like the Midlands of England, up Loughborough way. And it was a good 3.5 hours away from us, 3.5, 4 hours drive away from us. Now, me and my sisters had begged both my mum and my stepdad to don't have the jab. But my mum is of the generation. She's the pharmaceutical generation, you know, she's the NHS generation. My mum practically lived at her doctor's. She had, you know, a friend relationship with her doctor. You know, we were, if I had a cough when I was younger, I'd be taken to the doctor's. You know, that was the thing of their generation. You trusted your doctor, you trusted the health service. So mum couldn't understand why. What do you mean we shouldn't have these jabs? Why would they be putting something out that isn't going to be good for us? And I'm like, oh, mum, we haven't got time to go down all these rabbit holes right now. You just got to trust us. Now, before all this, my eldest sister, she wasn't on this journey. She wasn't on this road. She wasn't a truther until she started to see what was going on in 2020. She joined the journey of, please, mum, don't do it. So my mum's thinking was, right, well, actually, hey, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have it. We're going to have it because what we're thinking is, I was saying to her, mum, COVID's not real. It's not real. It's the flu. You don't need to worry about it. It's the flu. They're twisting things. It's not real. She couldn't get it into her head that they would be putting something out there that didn't really exist, that everything was twisted. So what she said to me was, well, look, hey, she said, if there is something out there that is dangerous, then I'm going to have it and I'll be all right, won't I? And if there isn't anything out there that is dangerous, then I'll be all right anyway, won't I? And I was just like, it's not how this is going to work, mum. It's really not how it's going to work. Especially, mum, how in November 2020, you had 3/4 of your your right lung removed for lung cancer. So November 2020, she had this operation for lung cancer. I stopped smoking then. I was like, right, Mum, I'm stopping smoking. We'll do this together. You can't smoke anymore because you've only got like a quarter of a lung left on that side. So we'll do this together. She got through it. She got through the cancer, and she was going back for her 6 monthly checks. Yeah. So in April of 2023, she came to visit us. She came to stay with us. And it was the first time Mum had ever been to stay with us where it didn't erupt into mass arguments and my stepdad had to come and pick her up and, you know, stop the arguments and all that lot. We had a really nice time, really, really nice time. And I was saying to Mum, so how's your health? Mum had been losing weight and it was worrying her. I could see it was worrying her. Now, bearing in mind, this was April. I said, when was your last cancer check, Mum? She said, February. She said, and it was all clear. I said, oh, well, that's okay then. She went, yeah, I'm getting old. Now, she was 72. Not really that old. Exactly. Not really that old. So she's gone home from the visit, and it was a lovely visit. There were no arguments, and we really enjoyed the time we spent together, which was strange. A week after she went home, she came down with a chest infection, and that chest infection didn't get better. So she was hospitalised. That chest infection didn't get better, and they kept upping her antibiotics and upping her antibiotics and upping her antibiotics. And then she was having other blood tests, and oh, hang on. There's precursors for cancer and what that we can see on your blood tests. So obviously it was a case of, oh, here we go again. So on the 12th of June, 2023, my stepdad and Mum were told, yes, your cancer has come back. She had lung cancer. Okay, so February, she was given the all clear. All clear, all clear. Everything is fine. By April, she had lung cancer. She had pancreatic cancer. She had cancer of the bowel. Cancer of the kidneys, cancer of the liver. So from February being all clear to April, where she started getting ill, and then fast forward to the 12th of June, because from April to June, she did not get better. She was hospital and home, hospital and home, hospital and home. On the 12th of June, they said, right, this is it. Cancer, 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 cancer. 12 days later, she died. Crazy. Crazy fucking shit. So I didn't want to go, well, I fucking told you so, even though, I was like, Mum, you know. So anyway, we begin the grieving process, and my poor stepdad left up the country 3 hours away from any one of his daughters. There's me, my older sister, and my younger sister. Now, my older sister lives in London, and my younger sister lives in Tunbridge Wells. Both are probably an hour's journey, hour and a half journey from me, 3 to 4 hours journey from our stepdad up the country. So after a few months of him being up there by himself, we were like, well, you need to come down here. We can't get to you quick enough up there when you need looking after. You need to pack your house up. We'll find you somewhere to live. Come down here, which is what we did. My husband's a builder. I'm a painter and decorator. We have a lot of contacts in the property game down here. Darren has a lot of jobs. So we were given a job. So my stepdad came down to stay with us. And at that time, Darren was given a job to refurbish a flat. So we went down to have a look at it to see, you know, what the job would entail. And my stepdad said, oh, I'd live here. And we went, would you? Okay, fine. Put that thought out to the universe. Within 3 months, he was living down here with us in the flat that we refurbed for him. So he came down. He had chronic rheumatoid arthritis in his wrists, his shoulder, his arms, literally couldn't move. His hands were swollen to the point they were big fat sausages. He couldn't lift his arm above like shoulder height without being in excruciating pain. He was on meds. And because he had to change his doctor from up there to down here, I said, right, listen, before you change your doctor and you go to him with all these, you know, ailments, I said, let us just please start to change what you're ingesting. Let's change your water intake. Let's change your food intake. Now, Stewie will tell you, right, 2021, I went to visit them when they were still up in Loughborough, and I was trying to get through to them what was going on in the world. Now, my stepmom my mum, she was just like, don't want to know. She was off having her fag. My stepdad, we were getting into it. And we were standing in the kitchen and we were getting into it. And he was just like, oh, wouldn't believe anything I was saying, wasn't having anything, this and the other. And I said, right. I said, listen, I can give you links. I can show you videos. I can do this. It will change your mind. It will help you change your opinion. And he went to me, I don't want my opinion changed. Like literally in my face. And I was like, well, fuck off and die then, because you're fucking useless. It was awful. It was just awful. A year later, Mum had died. What an awful thing to say. And Chris is moving down with us. And I'm like, right, we're going to clean your act up. So I stopped him drinking tap water. I said, from now on, you are to drink distilled water only. So I supplied him with his water. I said, each morning when you make your drink for the day, I said, you're to put some Celtic sea salt in. You're to put some bicarbonate of soda in. You're to put a little pinch of borax in. And that's going to be your drink for the day. I said, stop taking your medication, stop taking your painkillers, because that is inflaming everything. And he was like, well, how do the painkillers and how do the anti-inflammatories cause the pain and the inflammation? And I was like, screwy, isn't it? So he stopped taking the medication. He registered with his doctors, but didn't say anything about his rheumatoid arthritis because we were seeing how it was going. Within 3 months of him being down here, he had no swelling in his hand, full movement back. He could do this with his hand. He could have played tennis if he wanted to. So I said to him, so do you see? Do you see? This is just changing your water, just changing your water. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I do see. So from 2021, the man who was shouting in my face, I don't want my opinions changed, to now having been down here a full year. It was a year in December, just gone. So December, January, February, so 14 months. I can already tell from his clean water how much his pineal gland has already decalcified, because he is so susceptible and so open. And so I used to say, you're so fucking narrow-minded. You're so narrow-minded, it's fucking closed. Rah, rah, rah. Now, when we have a conversation, he's like, oh yeah. Well, why is that then? Oh yeah, I can see that. And I'll tell him things and he'll go off and he'll do a little bit of research himself. And I'm like, it's like a fucking miracle. It is. He is like my little case study. And it fucking works, mate. I said to him, like, you've been here a year, what you got to say to me? And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to tell you, you're right.
That's great.
But he knows I am.
It is so self-satisfying, right? When you can get someone to, well, it's not really about getting them to see it. It's about seeing the result, right? You see the result, that he's now thriving and he's doing well, right? Because
exactly. And the sad thing is, we couldn't get them to do it as a couple together, because she'd still fucking be here, you know? She'd still be here enjoying his life with him now if we could have got them to do it together, you know? Sad.
Exactly. Yeah, well done, Ailey. Of course, she does bang on a bit, though, doesn't she?
I fucking do, don't I? Do you know what? Like, listen, and I don't mean to sound rude, but I'm just going to have to love yous and leave yous now, because it's Valentine's Day and I've got to go and get ready for the meal that my husband's taking me out for tonight.
Oh,
I would just say, like, Simone, you could say, like, Simone, Simone.
How you doing?
Yeah, Timbo.
Happy Valentine's Day. I didn't even know until you just mentioned it.
Oh, sorry. We don't buy into that commercial shit, do we? We don't buy into the commercial shit, really. But, you know, he's taking me for a meal, so what can I say?
Exactly.
I never get a word in edgeways.
Oh, he says you don't get a word in edgeways. Say hello to the world, babe.
Hello, world. Oh, it's Jimmy.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, look, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing that with us. That was
love you guys. Keep up the good fight.
A lot of love there in the chat, Hayley. And
love you loads. Yeah. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Hello, Simone. How are you?
Hello, Stu. I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. What you been up to? You've told your story before, haven't you? So
yeah, I've been connecting with the evil AI. Haven't I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not having sex with it or anything like that. I'd just like to point that out. Well, not yet, anyway.
Well, you have to wait till Elon's robots come out for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been doing my videos and stuff like that, really.
Yeah,
Kind of been out of the loop, really.
Yeah, all right. We're talking about your videos. We've got people have seen our new website and all that. And we've got the 5 little affiliates on there, and we only wanted people that might be able to help people in this awakening journey, basically. So we've got like Mr. Hills, which is some nice stuff, and some coffee, and Matt Geiger Gold and things like that. But me and Simone have been sort of like spitballing a few ideas back and forth, but she is the AI whiz, and I'm going to play this video.
By the way.
He is.
Pardon?
He's I would say he's a pain in the
tyrant.
ass. That's how I would put it.
I'd like to say
His phone has got nothing on him.
I'd like to say perfectionist. Thank you. And I think I've got quite a good eye for design. So yeah, let's just play this video. It's only 2 minutes long.
Can I just say, my mouth, like I had to push it up, Simone. Like,
oh really?
When I was watching it, yeah, so impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll show it now.
Yeah. All right, this is excellent. Let me mute myself. Oh no, I don't need to.
In a world flooded with noise, clarity has become rare. People are questioning what they're told and searching for something real. Mr. Heal's modern wellness meets old school remedies. CBD tinctures, methylene blue, gummies and edibles, THC-free wellness, and functional remedies crafted with old school care and modern precision. Biozox, a trusted source for ivermectin and fenbendazole. Biozox believe your health decisions should be yours, not dictated by politicians or big pharma. Crafted with purpose and precision, freedom forged coffee, cacao and mushroom tinctures, small batch roasted coffee, rich cacao and functional mushrooms crafted with purpose. Verity Metals, redefining what precious metals investing should be. Why choose Verity Metals? We're not just another gold dealer. We're a trusted retirement partner. Our clients choose us because we lead with education, integrity, and transparency. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, accounting for 66.5% of bankruptcies. We can all agree the healthcare system is broken. There is an alternative. Impact Health Sharing, which Yahoo News is calling the disruptor in the $4.6 trillion healthcare system. For more information, visit patriotsacrossthepond.com.
Boom, that is fire, isn't it?
Obviously, AI is a retard because it can't do text.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence can't do text, can't do a simple 3-letter word or a 4-letter word. And unless it's Russian, obviously, then that's fine.
It wants to translate everything into Russian, doesn't it, by the looks of it?
I don't even know if it is Russian, but it's from that looks like it's from that part of the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I've been working on another one today, which is very text heavy, and I've just had to completely change everything. So there's no text going in because it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. So, you've done a few, haven't you now? This is you're in your happy place, aren't you?
Yeah.
When you're doing that?
Yeah, then I don't have to talk about the shit that's going on in the world, do I? I don't have to live in that headspace.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll find one of your other videos and actually show. Can I show that Sasha Stone one you did?
I'd rather you showed the other one, the alien one. That's better.
Oh, all right. Let me try and find that then. All right.
It's on my Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me go and find that. Do chat amongst yourselves for a little while.
It's True Fiction Films with a Z.
Yeah, I followed you.
And
yeah, we're following you.
Yeah.
So this was great. This is the most we've had on at one time, right, Stu?
Yeah.
We're gonna, when we get to 10, then we have to go to Zoom, right? Because I think we have a maximum on StreamYard of 8, right?
Okay.
Or 10. Is it 10, Stu? Yeah, but we're getting there. This is great. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Timbo, would you like to do some voiceover work for me?
Mothership, and on that mothership there are so many races, and on that ship none of them go by names. Their frequency is their signature. Their frequency is who they are. They came to get me one night and they walked me out on the balcony of this cabin I was on, and they took their hands out like this and said, everything is alive. Everything is alive. And then all of a sudden, it's like they opened up a dimension, and I could see trees communicating. I could see the life in realizing that everything on this planet is a conscious living being, and that we're connected to everything because of the beings that have kind of controlled us into our thinking and programmed us. We've lost our connections with nature, with Mother Earth. And, the main thing, they want us to reconnect, not only with each other, but with our planet and with every living thing on it, and not only that, but we're connected to the universe, and we're connected to the interdimensional beings and the non-human intelligence. We're all one and we're all connected. And they believe in a creator source. So, and they all have souls themselves. So, they want us to know that we're all connected to the same creator.
That's crazy. I feel like I've learned so much even since making that one, which was last week.
I don't even understand how you do it. Like, I don't even understand. It's just so cool.
I mean, obviously AI is doing all the donkey work. Well, is it? It is a retard, though. You have to pretend it has autism, because if you ask it to use its imagination or anything like that, you're fucked, essentially. So, you can't be vague. You have to be very specific. Unless you're being very specific about text, and then it will just give you some bullshit in Russian.
Okay.
But it's a learning process. You just have to write prompts and then see what it chucks out for you. But obviously, the more detailed, you've got this kind of the things you need to consider, like the environment, the setting, the characters, the aesthetic, the style, the lighting. I mean, it depends how detailed you want to get.
Yeah.
I've been watching stupid amounts of tutorials, people that do this for a living, like in the movie industry, and it's like, wow, these guys are amazing.
Oh, amazing. Like, I mean, I use AI, like ChatGPT, to help with writing, but you can't rely on it. It's just a tool. It can summarize things a little quicker. It comes up with different like different synonyms and things like that. So you're not sitting there with the thesaurus, but it's a tool. It's a helpful tool that saves time when you just, drill down, but I find it so helpful. But
someone like me who loves, because I've got a degree in film making and all that from a long time ago, but I've never been like artistic, the kind of person that can sit down and draw stuff. And so this is the perfect kind of field for me, if you like, because I can be really creative and artistic, because I've got loads of ideas in my head. Yeah. But it's just getting them out into some kind of creative form. So this is perfect. It's just beautiful. I think there's always a learning process, isn't there? And it's just learning how it works. And I'm sure I'll get my head around the text thing at some point. I'm sure there's a little hack that I just haven't found out yet, because I do see text in other people's stuff. So there's got to be a way.
There's a way. You know what I find so funny about the AI? If anybody's ever used like ChatGPT, or like you'll put something in and then you make a correction. Like, can you expand on this? Or that is such a wonderful idea. Thank you for those wonderful insights. Like, it talks to you like
yeah. Could you be less annoying with your response, please?
So funny. I was doing it one day. My daughter's like, "Ma, you know that's not a real person." I was like, "I know."
A lot of people say please and thank you, don't they?
More polite than the humans I know.
It's fun though, but you know, you got like you say, you got to remember it's a tool.
Yes.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
So Simone, you do have a background in film or in, I heard you say something about.
I did a film degree. God, when was that? Sort of 2012, I think.
Okay.
That finished. And I worked on a couple of feature films for like 5 minutes. Hated it. Hated all the people on the film sets. Again, retards. Sorry if there's anyone in the industry watching this, but you know you are. And then I got myself a puppy and became a dog trainer.
Oh,
That's random, isn't it? And that puppy's now 13. So yeah, I've been working as a certified dog trainer since then.
Cool.
Very nice. Well, if anybody does, take my advice and go to YouTube to Jim Breuer, Breuer, and someone had to say it. He does a whole thing on retard. It's great.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of thing I'd like to do, is just take sort of a 2-minute monologue from someone like him and do some AI to it.
Yeah.
It's free reign, isn't it, really?
That'd be great. Well, Elisa was talking about the one he did 3 years ago earlier, and he's got some great stuff in that. And I just want to say, Tim, I was muted just then, by the way. I was going like that. But Tim, I think your voice would be excellent as a voiceover on one of those.
Yeah, you've got movie trailer voice.
That's, I would never expect that coming.
Can you say coming to a theatre near you?
Coming to a theater near you.
Yeah, it's funny. George, my fiance, he has that similar rasp,
like a blues singer.
Yeah, it's very.
I see skies of blue.
So that's natural then, Timbo. You haven't got a sore throat or anything.
No, it's been something happened about 5 years ago, but I am going to have it checked out. I take like elderberry and some honey first thing in the morning. It's very hard to come up, but as time goes on, it turns into this. It's not what it was 6 or 7 years ago. I don't have a range anymore. Some people claim I might have polyps, but
that's
I'm
what
not.
Everyone says, yeah, with
so, but.
Is that what RFK had?
I don't. I'm not. I don't know. But eventually, someday, I might have it looked at. But for right now, honey, elderberry things, and it's no discomfort or anything. And some people like it, and some people go, "What the hell's wrong with your voice?" So it's kind of part of me now, as with these and things. I'm noticing things are changing.
Yes.
As well as the wisdom coming. So got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, you do. Balances out.
Yeah, Elisa just said to me, "You reading Warbringer's 187's messages in the text? Love.
Yeah.
Sending love.
Lots of love.
That sounds quite difficult, really. I'm going to, obviously, I've been concentrating, but I'm going to look all through those after. And, yeah, a lot of people have got really difficult stories throughout all this, haven't they? And it is a sad and happy time. But
I just wanted to go back to something that Hayley was saying about bailiffs and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I mentioned it last time I was here, but I've had a whole experience with bailiffs over the last 3 years. And the worst thing you can do is engage with them.
Yeah.
That's what I found, because I thought, right, I'm going to do the whole 3-letter process, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to write this letter, right, I know my rights, blah, 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 and all of that shit. And that's when they came at me really hard, and then they'd get another sort of add-on bailiff to join in. It's like they get together and bully up, And then once I went down the whole irresponsible lending route, which is a whole other thing, and once I stopped engaging with them, that's when they fucked off.
Yeah.
When I stopped playing the game and I stopped responding to letters, blocked all their phones, emails, everything. So yeah, that's when they stopped, and I haven't heard from them in God. It's got to be 9 months. Nothing. So it's true what she said about you're just some numbers on a computer that sends a letter out until you interact with that computer and they go, oh, here's a fucking idiot that wants to pay or wants to play the game. Do you know what I mean? That's all you are, is some ones and zeros on a computer somewhere.
Yeah.
Until you put up your hand and go, okay, I'm an idiot. Come and get me.
Yeah, can you see me? Yeah.
And that's what they count on. They count on the fear, obviously, and people being too afraid to sort of, do anything wrong. So, but the minute, what's that other woman's name? I can't remember her name now.
Kelly.
Huh?
Kelly? Who was just
not that was on here. There's a woman that travels around, black hair.
Oh yeah, she's
she's from up north.
Well, that's who Hayley used to listen to a lot.
Yeah, I went to see her a couple of times.
She's got a little camper van, hasn't she?
Yeah, but she never used to. She used to have quite a corporate job. And Stacey.
Stacey's World Box.
That's it. And I'd go to her sort of talks and stuff, and she'd be like, "Fuck them, just don't." And everyone would be like, "Yeah, but what? But." And it's the same with the meters, having your meters changed. Now, this isn't my property. If it was my property, I would. When I first moved in here, I thought, right, fuck it, new property. I'm not paying any bills or anything here. They can all fuck off. Within 4 weeks of moving in, and I hadn't paid any bills, and they were sending letters asking me who I was and all the rest of it. There's God Almighty alarms on the meters started going off really loud, so the whole neighbourhood could hear. And so I rang them up and they said, we're not going to turn them off until you tell us who you are and pay the last month. So I really couldn't. I have neighbours knocking on my door going, what the fuck is this all about? Have you paid your bill? So they even try to humiliate you with your community into paying the bill. They just would not. It was going on for days. They would not turn it off until I proved to them who I was and I gave them some money.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is crazy.
But yeah, if it was my own property, I'd go down the whole, changing out the meters, definitely. But it's not, and it's just not worth the fucking hassle. I've only got a little flat and the bills really ain't that expensive, to be honest. But,
Yeah.
So we're touching around and about. It sounds like the what Elisa in the beginning, maritime, Seste QV Trust, the straw man, right? Is that what we're kind of talking about in a roundabout way, right? With the
pretty much, yeah.
And there's Romley Stewart with the Justinian Deception, the ledger, the all caps name. That's where I spent many an hour, but that is an all income. It is what was it that they had the billboards on, apparently, where there's it is unlawful to use a legal name, and that topic probably especially took many hours of, but that gets so vast. And so you got USFL, you got the secure party creditor thing, the whole, and it just gets so massive and overwhelming, but it's fascinating. And I only have one kind of, during a lot of this process, this waking up process, this taking things from the virtual that I see online and trying to prove it in my own 3D world. There was a gentleman, a friend of mine, who had a community group, a community support group during COVID for like-minded people who could see the nonsense. And I didn't know about this group till it was already on its kind of weaning down stages. There was maybe 15 or so people there when I found out about it and went and hung out. But I had brought this up and about the trust and the whole, attached to the Social Security number and things. So it was the next week after I brought it up that there was this particular, the guy was a trader in bonds and stuff. And he kind of didn't believe it. So I forget whether he did it himself or someone he worked with started playing around on the, I forget, there's a certain website, the fiduciaries, but he started dabbling around with his number, birth date, and like I said, I can't clearly remember whether it was a friend of his or himself got approached by, apparently there's different tiers of traders, or in his company got approached and said, don't start looking, don't do any more of that, or you're not going to work in this field anymore ever again. And he was like, okay. So as small of a proof that there's something to it other than all the tales, not tales, other than, I'm sorry, that made it sound, other claims that are out there. That was, I try to always do a little bit of my own vindication or things in my world, but that was enough for me to go, okay, there probably is something to this, seeing how the system works, the tacit consent thing, the whole, but yeah, I find that subject fascinating. And then all the zombie movies and all the You're Living in the Dead, and it's like, wow, this is freaking insane. This is insane. And then even in the movie The Matrix, Mr. Anderson, no, my name is Neo. Like, you know, using the surname and the whole, it's like so many little clues in that movie about, it's really mind bending. And so I don't want to say it's cool because it's evil as heck, but it's awakening to a world that I don't know, but I think you all know how I feel about it. It's just incredibly complex, evil as heck, but yet in a strange way, fascinating. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're all on this awakening journey together, and everyone's input is absolutely wonderful, isn't it? Everyone's got a different story, but we are all one collective, one army, one fighting force, and these fuckers are going down, whoever they are.
Getting triggered in the chat on me using the word retard.
I don't know.
You know where they are, right?
No, I wouldn't have thought so in our chat.
And no, I don't claim to be a doctor either. I don't understand what that reference is either.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything there. Anyway, no, well, look, we're going to wrap this up in a minute anyway. I'm going to go all back through that chat because darling Jenny will download that for us and send it to me and Elisa, which is, we love the fact that she does that. She never had to do that, but yeah, it's amazing. I'll tell you what is funny, just quickly. I did say, when I showed Elisa your video the other day, Simone and all that, she would, when she put her jaw back, you know, clicked it back into place, she did say, she's got to do one for us now. So I did mention a little bit of a few things yesterday, didn't I? So we might have another one.
Did you tell her about what we were talking about in the brainstorming?
Which bit? What,
we got a bit carried away, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we're doing an AI with Trump and the White House and all these.
Yeah, we were going to do like
okay,
members of the administration walking through the White House, maybe with a
forged coffee, and
whatever it's called, coffee.
Oh my god, that's funny.
And then maybe walking to RFK and he's doing some methylene blue kind of stuff.
I love it.
But we thought there'd probably be legal connotations,
ramifications of that. Yeah,
I think so.
We want a really patriotic, across the pond, bit of Trump, loads of where we go and we go all, loads of Q references, all that sort of stuff might be nice. But if you're in your happy place, right, we'll talk about that. But yeah, guys, look, thanks for coming in. Timbo, lovely to meet you. I think it'd be nice, just to finish, if, you know, we don't know who's watching this, and there may be people that are just coming on board and seeing what's going on. Do you all just want to give a little bit of message of love or hope or anything out there to anyone? I'll put you on the spot. Timbo, you can go first.
it's long overdue that I thank all of you folks, and thank you for opening this platform. And like I said before, helping me get through, helping me break through my introverted kind of personality. I'm enjoying the change, and maybe because it's, like I said, I'm finding people that I can vibe with, and maybe that had to do with my introverted characteristics before about this is, oh, how's the weather? Oh God, no, we're down to the weather. No, but maybe it's because I just needed to find fellow people that I vibe with. And I'll put a thank out there to Sean, Dave, Rambo, the whole clan, and just can everybody try to vibe in the highest frequency that you can and be kind to others, and spread love, and we'll get there. We're on our way. We'll get there. And thank you again for having me on, and look forward to seeing you in April.
Yes.
And everybody out there, have a fantastic rest of this God blessed day.
Brilliant. Thank you, Timbo. You're very welcome to come on. Yeah. Misty?
I am extremely grateful for this movement. I'm so grateful for the people I've connected with, and the sense of validation and not feeling so alone. It just speaks volumes to my heart, and I'm very grateful. And thank you for inviting me into this chat on Saturday mornings. It's worked out really well. And every time, this is my third time, it makes me want to come back again.
Well, you're more than welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's welcome on this show. Yeah. Simone?
Yeah, I just echo that, what Misty said, actually. I'm very grateful for this show, and the pair of you as well. Obviously, there's a lot of people waking up in droves, but then, they're going through the pain. But then there's a lot of people that still aren't, which is astounding. They're just, I know everyone's still just got to get up and go to work and get on with the stuff. But I guess the second half of the files are going to be released. That's probably going to do the most damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you're struggling with anything, just go and get yourself some of these. They're really nice. And obviously, drink clean water, obviously. But have some of these with the clean water because they're very nice.
Have they got any THC in them?
They're biscuits. They're like, I don't know, you get them from the corner shop.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Cheap and nasty. Cool. But nice.
Yeah, well, we love it.
What you fancy sometimes, haven't you?
Oh, exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, big thanks to you guys because, Stu and I both got together with the intent of trying to bring a lot of truth. But then we started to realize, and thanks to Jason, that there was something to being able to get that interaction back. Like the chat is great and we love it and value it. But when we actually get you guys on here, it just adds a whole new dimension and it helps other people. So we're really grateful that you guys take the time and that you're being vulnerable enough to share your thoughts. Not easy, like getting in front of a camera and the whole world can see what you're saying. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And Simone, just quickly, if you want any work, where can people find you?
That's why I've set up that Instagram page. There's not much on it at the moment, but everything I do, I'm going to be posting up there. It's True Fiction Films with a Z on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't really do social media, to be honest. So I won't be, like having conversations with people or anything like that. It's just if you would like me to do something for you, then just send me a message via that.
Yeah.
It just saves having to set a website up or anything like that, doesn't it?
Brilliant. Well, yeah, thanks everyone. We, Elisa and I, we look forward to all our shows, but we do look forward to this. And it's really nice to engage. And thank you for the support. And we'll support you right back. If you appreciate us, we appreciate you. And that's where we go when we go all.
Yes, and please share, like, and subscribe, so you always get notified when we have a show. Because we're doing like 5 to 6 a week now, right, Stu? Sometimes more.
I'll just tell you what.
On next week.
I'm just going to say that. So let me do a little quick fire round because I'll get my calendar up. So tomorrow we've got Razor Rick. On Tuesday,
well, Monday,
Sheriff
not
Mac.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, sorry. Monday we've got Razor Rick. Tuesday we've got Sheriff Mac and Gene Decode. But Gene Decode will be on 10:30 at night, but it's not going to be live. So we'll be uploading that the next day. Matt Geiger, as usual, on Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got a double whammy. We've got Jathan on and Sapioplex in the afternoon, UK time. And then we've got Sheila Home, which is going to be great. She's going to be talking about a lot about the UK shenanigans going on and other stuff. And then Jason Q again on Friday. And then next Saturday, we've got a day off. Yeah. And then any of you guys
you don't have days off, Stu.
Well, I'm always doing something, but just I won't be showing my face on here. And yeah, so in 2 weeks' time from now, we will have another one of these. And anyone, return guests, you can come on as many times as you like. It's nice. Let's see if we can get 10. I don't ever want to go to Zoom, really, because we can't do all the stuff we want to do with Zoom like we can in StreamYard. But we can have up to 8 guests in here. So I think that's amazing. And if we ever do go more than that, and if we ever start earning any money, Elisa, we might be able to up the StreamYard subscription. Well, I pay £33 a month for this anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'll do that out of love because I love it. I love doing it. Pardon? What? 33? It might be. You can do a deep dive on that after this if you like. But yeah, thank you everyone. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Yeah, much love. And I'm going to play out with your fantastic artwork again, Simone. Take care, guys. See you later.
Bye.
In a world flooded with noise, clarity has become rare. People are questioning what they're told and searching for something real. Mr. Heal's modern wellness meets old school remedies. CBD tinctures, methylene blue, gummies and edibles, THC-free wellness, and functional remedies crafted with old school care and modern precision. Biozox, a trusted source for ivermectin and fenbendazole. Biozox, believe your health decisions should be yours, not dictated by politicians or big pharma. Crafted with purpose and precision, freedom forged coffee, cacao and mushroom tinctures, small batch roasted coffee, rich cacao and functional mushrooms crafted with purpose. Verity Metals, redefining what precious metals investing should be. Why choose Verity Metals? We're not just another gold dealer. We're a trusted retirement partner. Our clients choose us because we lead with education, integrity, and transparency. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, accounting for 66.5% of bankruptcies. We can all agree the healthcare system is broken. There is an alternative. Impact Health Sharing, which Yahoo News is calling the disruptor in the $4.6 trillion healthcare system. For more information, visit patriotsacrossthepond.com.